Welcome back, gang, to Conversations Over Coffee. I'm your host, Chris.
And I'm his sidekick, Denise.
Excuse me. And we're back with another episode. I had to take a little drink there. My mouth was dry. We're back with another episode. Thank you guys for joining in on the podcast. We're still rolling along on this YouTube thing, you know.
How many videos do we have?
No pressure. Probably around 13 or 14.
Okay.
But no pressure, you know. We thank the people who have joined us for this podcast. We appreciate you guys. And we're going to keep it moving. So how's the week been going?
Busy.
Busy.
All the weeks seem busy these days.
Well, we're on the week of this taping. 4th of July was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we hung out with some close friends. One of them or both of them has been your friends since we was at college, right?
Heather's
Both
been
of them,
my
yeah.
friend since high school, and I've known Brian since college, yep.
Yeah, so, we just hung around. Brian cooked us a delicious steak. Yeah, he did what? He did the meat
Mm-hmm.
and shrimp and all that good stuff. And Heather prepared the sides. It was yummy.
I made the carrot salad.
You made the carrot salad. So if you guys have not tried that, what's that?
It's TikTok carrot ribbon salad.
That TikTok ribbon carrot salad. We had that pasta salad. What kind of cake was that? A bundt cake?
It was a bundt cake with red, white, and blue glaze on it.
Definitely. It was delicious. And we had we were swimming all day in a luscious pool. Yes. With some good old tunes. And we just laid back and chilled. Yeah.
We had some mini fireworks at the end.
Some mini fireworks, man. But, the people behind us wanted to do better than us.
I think that was a professional
It
operation.
had to be. See, they bought the illegal stuff. Don't appreciate it. Yeah, so what's new in the world of, what's that, I call it the vast internet. For sure. What are we looking at these days? The Diddy trial. We're at the end of that. What's that, five charges, I think. And he was found not guilty of 3 of the charges.
Mm-hmm. So
No. If I'm wrong, was it? Yeah, was it?
It was only 2. It was the transporting people
so 5,
for prostitution and something. Maybe it was 2 counts of that or something.
Yeah, 2 counts of that, and the 3, the more
the racketeering and the extortion.
The stuff we were supposed to get this guy on, we didn't get him on. So if you haven't been paying attention to the trial, that is your news. Diddy will possibly still do some time, but
each count has a maximum sentence of 10 years.
Yeah, so a total of 20. Still, they saying it's a victory, but that's not really a victory when you're almost 60.
Racketeering could have been much worse. But, I saw on social media somewhere, someone made the comment that from that trial, we heard that Cassie also requested these guys and paid for their travel and things like that.
Man.
So why is she, in essence, not guilty of the same things?
Yeah. Well, she was hurt, and she was, for 12 years, he was, forcing her to do all this stuff. You wanted, no, you're guilty of something. I can't figure it out, but you're guilty of something.
I never advocate for violence against women.
No, absolutely
no
not.
matter the circumstances. But 12 years together, it couldn't have been that horrible all the time.
Yeah.
When you have no children, no marriage. There was nothing really
tying you down.
Right to that situation. And not that I'm excusing what he did in any degree, but I wonder a bit more about her responsibility and ownership of that situation.
Yeah, and how the people who was rooting for her, now they're starting to think it. They're like, first and foremost, we don't believe in, violence towards women, but it's like, people are starting to think. People are smart. The internet's very smart. We don't give the internet enough credit.
And they're all detectives, too.
Yeah, they're all detectives, like that. And I tell people all the time, you can never go against the world. That's what the internet is, the world. When you put all those minds together, come on. But it's a crazy situation. I don't think it's, in my opinion, I don't think it's a victory for Diddy. Because you're talking about if they do make you serve the maximum, that's 20 years.
I don't think they'll make him do it, though.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
I really, really think he might go to jail for a couple of years and to get probation for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because none of those offenses were violent crimes. He is a lucrative member of society.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a violent history. He don't even have drug charges or anything on him.
Yeah.
There's no reason to make him serve 20 years. And Angels for Cowboys it's a legit organization in Las Vegas. So, he was, and I think in New York too, maybe just as escorts and not for the sex. But however, none of those things are hugely menacing crimes that he's been convicted of.
No.
So,
it's a crazy situation. The only thing Diddy's guilty of is being freaky as hell.
well, and there are many, many other people in the world who can have that same charge.
If they start locking us up for being freaks, man, it's a wrap.
Wait, are you lumping yourself in the freak category?
Man, it's none of my personal affairs. No, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have their kinks.
Oh, absolutely.
Small or big. But if they start charging people on that,
He's not the only one with baby oil.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the stock shares go up on baby oil since he's been in this situation.
That would be an interesting question.
That's pretty good to answer.
Well, and does all that baby oil stay locked away as evidence? You know how they box up the stuff and put it in storage as evidence in a trial?
If I was a cop,
do they have gallons and gallons of baby oil?
If I was a cop and I raided that joint and I was the one who put it in there, if I need some baby oil for my ashy out boss, I got the key to the precinct. I'm going in. I'm like, baby, how many we need? She's like, well, my knees are ashy all the time, too. Well, I'll get two.
What if the bottles start biodegrading over time and oil's just leaking out on everything?
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of oil. Just Jesus. That was his kink, man. I'm telling you.
We're digressing.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, definitely. And what else is on the list in social media?
The other hot topic we've seen is the new rules that Carnival is implementing
I forgot about
to reduce the ratchet travels they've been encountering.
That's what I've been on. And the reason why I've been on it is because I am taking my first Carnival cruise. You took Carnival cruises years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many years again was that?
It was, my last cruise was before I met you.
I know that.
So more than 12 years ago.
Yeah, so
Holly, you've been around a long time.
Yeah, been around for a little bit. And when you went, you didn't have bad experience. This wasn't a wave of that. Even they didn't have the title of, what do they call it? The Walmart.
Section 8, EBT, Walmart of the Seas.
The EBT of the Seas.
Spirit of the Waves. That was the best one.
What's that? Walmart of the Seas, all that is the party cruise. That's all we want to do. Party all the time.
However, I never took a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day situation. My cruises were always at least 5 days or more.
Yeah. And that's what they're saying, that all these people are like, some of the younger people, I'm not out in the younger people, but some of the people that's just taking a long weekend, they're like, I'm not going to come back. These people will never see me again. I'm just going to straight just, act up.
Mm-hmm. Ratchet Town.
I'm going to get the drink package and just tear it up. Carnival is saying now that they're going to have alcohol control. They're not getting rid of the,
drink package,
but they are going to get, kind of have some quality control on that.
Limit the number of drinks you can have in a 24-hour period.
Yeah, and I think that is in writing. That is set in stone. People have been saying stuff like, oh, man, they're not doing any rap music anymore. I hate to be mean. That is not a bad thing when you got different people on the boat. Not everybody's going to want to listen to rap music.
Well, and I wonder, they said hip-hop music. Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be all kind of rap music or just some more of that more aggressive sounding stuff.
Yeah.
Which, and if it's popular, that might go out the window. But I think the things that probably will be enforced will definitely be the limit on the alcohol packages. You can no longer bring personal speakers, which apparently was a huge issue. I saw a video where they showed how many they had confiscated on a cruise, and it was easily 20, 30 of those little pill speakers or little short JBL speakers. because there was an issue of people blasting music in their rooms at all hours and also blasting their music out on the public decks. And like you said, nobody want to hear your music.
Yeah, your music ain't my music, so.
They're going to, supposedly they're going to stop the clacking of the fans, but that might be an interesting.
I never got that because I don't fit in that group of people. So, yes, I said that.
And then the other big thing is kids who are 18 and younger are not going to be allowed to just be roaming freely on the ship all hours of the night. And they won't even be able to, you have to be 21 to even book a room without a guardian.
Jeez. So they tighten it up, man. Like I said.
Which is, it's interesting because is it really people 18 to 20 that are fighting in the videos?
I'm not a believer of that. Like, I'm not going to say it's so quick to say the youth is like tearing it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's everybody. I'm thinking I'm putting it all in there. It's everybody.
But it's been some really interesting conversation around it and opinions about it, and I mean, I think some of it is valid. It's people who, no matter what their race is, are displaying a lack of respect and consideration of other folks who also paid their money to have a nice, relaxing vacation. And it's, someone said these are the same parents whose kids come to school and try to fight the teacher. It's showing that, unfortunate, that generation of people who weren't raised with the same amount of standards and values and moral expectations, and that's really sad. That's one of the ways we're displaying our Americanness out in the world.
Just like I told you the story, paraphrasing a little bit, like I told you the couple that was in the elevator, and they were, from what I hear, an older couple. I don't know how much older, and there was a few younger people on the elevator with them, jumping up and down, hollering, doing all this and that. And the lady kindly turned to one of the guys. She said, "Would you stop doing that?" I guess they were jumping or doing whatever. And the guy turned around and said, "What did he say? Shut up, bitch," like that. So the husband intervenes in the situation like all of us men do. And guess what? They knocked him out, gave him, what's that, a concussion?
I thought you said he was unconscious.
Unconscious, yeah. They beat him unconscious, basically. They jumped him right in the elevator, So they left the wife and the husband in the elevator, and the wife's crying. There's no need for that. We're all on vacation. We're all here to have fun. Why you? And she was nice, for the most part,
I mean, that's a reasonable request. Please don't, one, make our elevator fall and hurt us, or two, get us stuck and you're wasting my good vacation free time. What was the point of it? What were they hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, and like I said, I heard on the thing I was watching, they did get banned and some other stuff. So.
I hope they got charged with an assault.
Yeah, the guy who was talking about it didn't go into a lot of details about it, but that's just that. Man, that's shifty. It's for sure.
Sad and shameful, and it makes you, all of the stuff makes you more and more leery of being out in the world and interacting with folks because you don't know how people react, and people are so much more unpredictable and volatile, and it seems like there's no second thought to any consequence for violent action. It's just Yeah, so if we can, we're going to end it off like this. This conversation about cruises. If you can, be nice to one another. Try your best, and it goes on both sides. That's not even a black or white thing. It's an everybody thing. It's a us thing. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like we just need to share the space and just be nice. Just think there's kids on the boat. Elders, retired people, all that stuff. Put your ratchet on vacation too, dude.
Yeah, put it on vacation, man. Just be loose, man. Loose. Have a couple cocktails. You might meet a nice lady up there. It's whatever you want. Just don't be knocking people out.
Right, we're all up there to have a good time.
And other news, we got a big week for Netflix. We got the
Old Guard 2.
Old Guard, that's one. For Max is Sinners, and we have watched the Titan.
Yes,
the Titan documentary, the submersible.
Submersible.
Yeah, the whole oceangate thing. what do you have to think about that thing or that guy? It's all his fault. Yeah, yes, I said it.
So
Yes, I said it.
I only knew about it because it was on the news about the submersible exploding on the trip. And so
Yeah.
watching the documentary, I learned a lot more that he'd been working on this for 12 years and created a business, and that they had made successful trips down there before.
Absolutely.
But that this guy, he was a really complex and complicated dude. He was allegedly very smart. He came from a family with money. So he went to Harvard. So, that's
Yeah.
50-50, smart versus money.
I think, what was it? Him and his wife both came from money. Mm-hmm. They didn't look it, but they came from money.
And he had an interest in out of Earth exploration, but decided instead of space, he would go under the sea.
Yeah, that's even worse.
But that he had a vision and a dream, and he certainly worked hard until he reached it, but, at the cost of his life. But it's really interesting that they fought so hard to use this carbon fiber hull.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you missed it, or maybe this is coming from the documentary or whatever, but it was all, I think I told you, it was all stuff from Home Depot. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't talk about that in the documentary.
Well, it must be I watched some, I think they said on Inside Edition, yeah, because one of the guys, before this all happened, one of the journalists, he got to go on the Titan.
Yeah, that was on there.
And it went down. They went down. Yeah, and he was talking about Inside Edition and all this stuff. He said he would tell him like some of this stuff was like from Home Depot or stuff like that, or he would put it together himself. And he supposedly had said, what's that, Boeing? The airplane line, whatever, helped him with all that stuff. And
well, that was in the beginning. They helped him, and then when they said, "Hey, your prototype is not going to work," he cut ties with them and hired his own crew of engineers to build what they had.
What I'm saying, he was telling people who was asking, they helped build it, Boeing and another company supposed to be.
And he was telling a partial lie because they were in the beginning. And then when they said this won't work, he said, well, never mind, I'll find my own people. But that and it worked a couple times apparently, but that something that was made up of fibers dipped in carbon and glued together, you thought would routinely sustain 4,000 meters of pressure and depth into the ocean. And that they had added that, I forgot what they called it, but it was basically they put microphones all throughout it so you could hear when the fibers were popping. Yeah. And that was like, I mean, we were jumping because they would be popping so loud and so often. It's like, you had to know that eventually was not going to be good.
But the documentary, he was just like, whoa, you hear that? He was just like, man.
What do you say? It's seasoning or something like that?
I was like, you were too happy. No. Do not play with Mother Nature.
You had success, and you think you just you repeat it, and it's always going to be successful.
That's almost
But it's like, what if it cost you $1 or $2 million more to make out of something else? Yeah. Is that not worth your life, those other people's lives, the long, your long vision, your long game? Because I think eventually they wanted to start a business where they were just routinely taking people down there.
And that might, if they would have did the first one right, and it was successful over how many, dives they had to do. You could imagine how many people would say, you know what, we're going to bypass going on a cruise this year. You guys want to go see the Titanic? Oh, yeah. Let's do it. But he didn't. It was just like he let his ego get in the way.
I think maybe he had a pure heart and good intentions in the beginning, but over time it's like he became an egomaniac about it. He referenced wanting to be like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and he would say something about doing this was big D energy, and the way he treated people, and he was telling the staff that he could like essentially ruin their lives as he wanted to, and it's like, did it make him crazy over time?
Well, like I said, I was gonna say before, but we were talking. It's like we said it before. All these billionaires and millionaires, going back to Diddy, it's like they get bored. So it's like all these crazy. They did everything, So it's like we're in the era of these crazy antics.
Well, he went to
You
school.
know?
Like, I think it was genuinely a passion for him, but he just had a lot of money to throw at
Yeah,
it.
he's like, I don't want to do it myself. And it's like, dang, the way they died was horrible. They didn't have a time to react or anything. That's how instant it was.
Yeah, what was it? So it imploded, but apparently some people were still alive because they could hear on the sonar the beating sound, and that's how they were able to locate where the wreckage finally was. But once they got to him, it was too late. But can you imagine, like?
I heard it was instant. I watched the whole thing. It's like when it closes, it's like it closes. Like supposedly inside the district said nobody had time to react. You know, it's just like you just get smashed. That's all that pressure. Yeah, you don't have there's no life down there.
Well, in the documentary, it said that that's what they used to locate them. So, but even so, I mean, either way, smushed instantly or suffering, terrible. Just.
Yeah. And the only thing that was left of it was the front end and the back end.
The mosquito is over above your head. We have a special guest today, Freddie the mosquito.
Right. Thanks.
Sorry.
Anywho, but yeah, that's it's unfortunate those people had to, just to be explorers. They had to give up their life to do that. Yeah.
Well, and something that was really sad that came to light too is that one of the staff who got fired after he wouldn't support them continuing to go down on a submarine, he went to OSHA to file a safety complaint. And because there's not enough OSHA investigative staff, he had like 11 cases in front of this guy's case, and it was going to take him years to even get to it. And the guy who owned the company was civil suing the employee who could not afford to be in court for this guy to get through 11 cases. He dropped the complaint, which then in turn dropped the lawsuit, but also dropped it from OSHA's radar of things to worry about. And so it's like,
it was costing
oh
him
my
his
gosh.
life some money. Yeah, a lot of money.
But, things were critically wrong with what they were doing. And because that system was so flawed, they were allowed to just keep going. And those people, like, at some point, does OSHA have some responsibility in that too? Yeah. They were made aware of a situation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And, and it's like, where's the priority? How do you, is there not another way how do you get more people? But, that it's like, wow, so if my job make an OSHA complaint, how long does it take them to get to, and OSHA is about safety.
Yeah, but not in this case. It wasn't. That guy, how long he said it took, and it was like, it was taking his and his wife's, savings.
Yeah.
And they were bleeding their savings to the point he's like, I got to back out. I got $12 in the bank. I can't go anymore, and that's sad, because he was one of the top guys.
Yeah, he had been in the Navy.
Yeah. He was an experienced guy.
Yeah, and he had also been working on submarines. Like, he had a wealth of knowledge, and he was right.
Yeah, and in the documentary, he was at him and the CEO of oceangate, they kind of butted heads because he was like, no, we can't do this.
He refused to go.
Yeah, he was like, certain tests, man, we can't do. We have to think about the lives of ourselves and, other people.
Well, and when he refused to go and they fired him, the oceangate guy decided he was going to send the person who was their accountant, but who had even joined oceangate because she had a passion for scuba diving. And she was like,
I'm not a pilot.
Right. She's like, I'm an accountant. I'm not qualified to do this. And she ended up leaving too because she realized this was not a safe situation.
Yeah, I think she did. She stayed for a small bit. She stayed for a little bit, but she was like, this is insane.
Right. She said she put her LinkedIn back up once he was like, and then they had the intern, and once that lady left, they're like, oh, well, now we'll make you the pilot. That'll be good for PR, a young woman pilot.
That's like,
and she was like, I just got here.
That's like hiring the person that cleans the bathroom. Like, Earl, guess what? You're a pilot today.
Right, you're a submarine pilot. Yeah.
Put the mop down. He's like, but sir, I don't, know how to do a submarine.
Well, and the other thing is, because I found this very interesting because I encountered this with giving out food at my job, that if you give the food away, you don't have to follow any Like, you don't have to have your safety from Wake County approved versus if you sell it, because it changes the
it's
liability.
yeah.
So for this, if people paid to ride on his submersible, he had to follow a certain set of checks and balances. But if they all worked on it,
Yeah.
it wasn't. So people were paying
was
him money, but he was calling them mission assistants.
Yeah.
So they were like working with him,
This
and just
guy
like
was
that was shady all the way.
This was shady. But you know what? People will hear about this stuff and they're like, man, at least I'll get to see the Titanic. Oh, no, I don't want to see the Titanic.
I'll watch it from the movie.
I watched the movie all day of the week, all 3 hours.
Well, at the beginning, James Cameron goes down on the submarine, so you can.
Yeah.
Oh, and he had that French guy who had done a lot of underwater exploration.
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't
passed
Jacques
away,
Cousteau, but what's his name? Jacques Cousteau. But he was another French guy who like had a wealth of knowledge too, and he knew that it was gonna go bad because he was like, I've lived a long life, I've gone on lots of adventures, so he had already like settled that this would be his end, and it's like, I'm not going. It's like, you can keep my money,
man,
not going.
This is crazy, and it's not like the tickets, from what I get, would be cheap to do that.
No,
They wasn't. Like, he was clocking in on millionaires that wanted to live that kind of, what's that kind of extreme, adventurous life, and stuff like us. We couldn't have paid for that.
No.
How much was a ticket or something? It's like, I don't know anybody at all.
I don't remember the price, but I know it was elite people who were buying
elite.
them.
And I'm sorry, so I hate to say this, but we're not the elite people. There's a lot of us that's not.
Well, I don't want to go that far into the water anyway.
I'm cool, man.
Yeah.
I like ankles. I like my ankles. 'Cause my ankles are soft. I got soft ankles. I like to, keep them in water like that. Well, we're going to end the podcast, guys. Thank you, guys.
It's a good documentary. You should definitely check it out. Very interesting.
Yeah, please check it. That documentary is called The Titan something.
I thought it was just called Titan.
That's one of the words in it. And the Old Guard 2 is out. We're kind of happy about that because it's been, 5 years?
A long time. Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
5 years. And then you got Sinners coming down. HBO Max. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and a great, 4th of July weekend. And thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you later.
Bye.